Hello and welcome to this video. In this one, I'm going to cover these three controllers. We have two Hori Fighting Commanders, the original one, and then the second version, the newer one. And then we have the Razor something, I forgot what it's called, the Razor Raion FightPad controller. I haven't done one of these in a long time, so I'm going to do an updated video. This is the year 2025, and last time I did a video I think was like 2017 or something like that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about these controllers really quick and just like you know how they're working for me and how they may work for you if you're looking to get a fight stick controller or a fight pad, because fight sticks, there are new ones coming out, and I still have my review on my old one. But I'm going to do an update on that one too pretty soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this and the issues that I've had. We're just going to get straight into like the goods, the bads. There's no point in like dragging this video on for days. I will do edits for each controller that I use, and I will be using Tekken 8 as an example. So for me, starting off, I have pretty big hands. My hands, if you're familiar with professional sports players, my hands are bigger than Michael Jordan's, but slightly smaller than Shaquille O'Neal's. So as far as when it comes to me, these things can fit literally in my entire hand. And that's kind of been an issue. So if you have big hands like me, I'm going to talk about some things that you might be concerned with as well. So starting with the original Hori, we're just going to get into this one. I've been using this one for a long time. I have both the Xbox and the PlayStation version. This is the PlayStation version that I'm using right now. The Xbox one is in all white. This controller has seen a lot of play. I've been using this for years, and one of my main issues is that it's small and it's really hard to grip. It's just the shape of it and the way it is, which isn't good if you're like a normal person with small hands. But for me, it's like it starts to make my hand cramp because I'm like gripping on it in a very particular way with my fingers. Then my fingers are curled up at the bottom, as you can see. So holding it always results in my hands just getting really tired really fast, which is something that you may want to think about, if you're getting one of these Hori Fight Commander fight pads. So the other main issue that I have with this controller is mostly just the D-pad. The D-pad isn't so bad. It depends on the game. It definitely misses inputs, especially with Street Fighter and Tekken. If you're playing a game that uses a lot of like Z inputs or corner circle or half circle or even full circle inputs, it misses them from time to time. And sometimes it'll do something completely different. Also, the D-pad itself has a bit of grip to it, so it will get stuck on your hand from time to time. I have broken plenty of nails from using this D-pad because my thumbnail will get stuck right in that cross area, and then it'll just like rip it or it'll crack it. So that for me has been a big issue. I do play the guitar, so I like to keep my nails long for finger picking. But yeah, when it comes to like doing certain motions like DPs and lightning uppercuts, like with the Mishima family, sometimes it'll always miss. Like sometimes it'll do different things. So like if you're trying to go for Z inputs, it will do something else, or it'll miss an input, as you can see in the top right. And of course, with repetition, you can get better at it. But when you're in like intense moments and you can't, you're trying to do it as fast as possible, or you've got like a couple seconds of frame time, it becomes an issue. And especially when you can't, for these characters, do lightning uppercuts, it's really stressful because of just the grip that the D-pad has. And those are my main issues. Other than that, this controller is really good if you're using this for like arcade games or even other fighting games that don't involve a lot of D-pad inputs, like maybe Mortal Kombat or the new Marvel Tokon or something that just does not use a lot of heavy corner circle Z inputs, then honestly you're fine with this controller, and it'll do you a world of good. I prefer, if you're playing on PC, to use the Xbox one. Um, Something that I've noticed no one's really talked about is that the PlayStation one has some input lag built in. Even if it's hardwired in, it still has a little bit of input lag because this was made for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, which the PS3 and PS4 and like inherently have input lag, which a lot of people don't know about that. If you play both, like say the same fighting game back to back on two screens, the Xbox One has a lot smoother, faster input than the PlayStation because the PlayStation just has built-in input lag. Don't know why they do that, but yeah, it's something built into the hardware, and it's built into their hardware overall. So like, even though it's a third-party controller, a lot of third-party controllers and fight sticks for PlayStation have input lag built into them. So the newer version, the Hori Fight Commander 2, this is the Street Fighter 6 edition. Had to get the Cammy one because Cammy's awesome. But this one, I would say, has a lot of improvements. It even comes with software that's way better. I don't want to say way better, but there is customization software that you can download for free that helps this controller and helps with drift, because it does have two sticks. This is the right stick and then the left stick. It does help. Issues that I've had with it over time, I've been using this for about a year now, is mainly the D-pad. The D-pad misses a lot of inputs. Same thing with the previous one. It misses a lot of Z inputs, which if you're playing, like I said before, Street Fighter or Tekken, you're going to miss a lot of those inputs when it comes to doing just your basic movements. It kind of sucks. There's no way to really get into it. It also reads, like, sometimes it'll read other inputs like up. This one, more than the previous one, will read like up for some reason. You'll try to go for a Z input, and all of a sudden you'll jump, and you're like, I pressed forward, but all of a sudden you're jumping, or it'll do something completely different. So that's the only real issue I've had with this. And playing competitively with it missing inputs, it misses more inputs than the previous model when it comes to the D-pad. The stick is just kind of hit and miss. It's great if you're playing Street Fighter 6 World Tour, because then you have both sticks and you can run around and move the camera. And for some games, that's great. Like if you need both sticks to like move the camera or explore like the lobby or something, or if you're using this as an arcade controller for like, like Metal Slugs or something like that, old FB Neo or older arcade games that need you to aim with a stick or something, then this is great. But for fighting games, it's just the D-pad. The D-pad just kind of sucks. I've already kind of worn into it. I don't know if you can see, but I've worn into one side of it already, just from trying to do Z inputs. Kazuya is my main character in Tekken 8, and it's just really, just the wear and tear. So I'm still looking for a better controller to replace this one as far as Z inputs go, or even just corner circle inputs, half circle inputs. It does miss a lot with, like say, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. This controller feels good. You will miss some inputs from time to time with the D-pad. If you're a person who likes to use the stick is great. It does have the left stick and right stick buttons at the top, but it also, you can click the left stick in. You can't click in the right stick because it's more like the Nintendo 3DS stick, where it's just kind of like literally just like little sliding plate of a stick. But other than that, it's good. The button responses are good. This is the Xbox version. I haven't had any issues with input lag, just missed inputs. So, like we said before about the D-pad, and that's been about it. Those are my only real issues. Other than that, it's a great controller. For Street Fighter 6, it works way better than it does for Tekken. If you're doing DPs, Z inputs, if you're trying to do drive impacts, the buttons are a bit clicky. If you're worried about noise and you're in a quiet room, you will definitely hear the buttons. It's kind of like a metallic click. But yeah, that's this controller in a nutshell. It is good for my hands. If you have bigger hands, the difference in design feels a lot better because it gives you something to hold on to. Where with this, I'm holding on to the bottom, whereas with the other one, my hands were kind of like curled around it, where I had to feel like I had to like claw that thing. Where this one, I'm a little bit more relaxed. Yeah, it's sitting in my palms. So yeah, I would say this one would be the better one to go with than the original Hori Fighting Commander controller, because this one is just better all around. A lot of great inputs. So next we're gonna get to the Razor. Last on our list is the Razor Raion. This is another fight pad for PlayStation. This one's actually not too bad. It has the switch for PC. The cable is really heavy. It has the switch for PC and PS4. It does work with the PS5 if you're looking for something. This one I do like. It's bigger. It's a bit bulkier. It feels good. The only issue with this is that it's really, really loud. Like what I was talking about with the Fight Commander 2 and having that metallic clicky sound is that the D-pad, I don't know if you can hear it, but the D-pad does the same thing. It's kind of like when you're using a fight stick and you hear the stick moving around, click, 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 click. That's what the D-pad sounds like. It is super loud. Other than that, the buttons themselves are pretty soft, but soft in a weird way. Like, it feels like there's no pushback on these, where the other controllers, it feels like there's a little bit of resistance, so that way you know you're pressing the button. With this, it just goes right in, and it just reads it really fast. So it causes you to double press buttons at times. And there's no stick. So if you're playing something like Street Fighter 6, you're gonna have to use these controls at the bottom, which allow the D-pad to switch over to the left stick and right stick. And that's just really annoying, because then you have to switch it to left stick in the middle and then right stick all the way at the far right. And yeah, it's a hassle. Anyway, this I don't really recommend unless you're only playing fighting games, where it's just like menu to character select to fighting. If you're playing old school fighting games like Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, or anime fighters, Under Night or something, this is actually pretty good. So I think this can be really good with something like Marvel Tokon, where the auto inputs for the light, medium, and heavy. I also used to use this with Dragon Ball Fighter Z. This was a really good controller for that game as well. But overall, the inputs are fine. Like I said, it's just really loud. You won't be able to hear it because of my noise cancellation, but it's pretty good. As far as inputs, it does miss inputs from time to time. If you're on PlayStation, it does have the tracking pad that you can push in and use like the PlayStation trackpad, which is good. But yeah, it just misses inputs from time to time, and I think that's just an issue with all of these controllers, is that the D-pad is just really subpar. Um, I feel like this one was the best one for Street Fighter, in my opinion, when I was playing Street Fighter competitively, like Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5. This one was really good. Um, but it did cause me to miss a lot of just inputs, where I would try to go for maybe like I try to go for like a DP or a Z input, and it would just completely miss it. And that was a big issue, you know, during crucial moments, trying to go for invincible frames or iframes, or trying to go for counters or parries. That's where it started to fall off because of just how lack of resistant the buttons are, and then the D-pad is pretty stiff. So yeah, this one is like, I would say this one feels more like a toy. This doesn't really feel like a controller. Like if you're trying to play serious and competitive, I would definitely not pick this up. But if you're playing casually, just like with some friends, or you need a controller for on the road, if you're going to someone's house, or you know you're going to be playing in the car or on the train or on the bus, you know, this, you can't go wrong with this if you're just casually playing. But for serious play, I would definitely not use this RAZER controller, unless you're doing something like I said for the other ones that does not involve a lot of serious inputs. Otherwise, I say hard pass. And it's got built-in input delay because it is a PlayStation specific controller. So I personally do use the Xbox Elite controller. This controller is not bad. The only issue that I have with it, and that other controllers have, is this. This D-pad is terrible. So I'm gonna try to show you. See how it lifts up? It kind of curls and dips in. I know, like the there we go. So like how it curls up and it dips in, kind of like concaves in. That is actually not bad. The problem is when you, and I'm going to show you right here. So if you're blocking low, see how it lifts up? That becomes unstable because it's held down by a magnet. So it kind of like, you have to like be careful, and then sometimes it'll get stuck and it'll pop out of place if you do it too fast. Especially if you're trying to do like certain inputs like this. Like I'm just holding back, and look how high it lifted up. It's where I could stick my nail underneath it and just pop it out without trying. So when it comes to controllers like this, these actually do feel really good. I prefer these controllers like this and the PS5 controller. The only issue I have is that once other controller companies started adopting this whole magnetic piece that goes in the slot, it's not good for fighting games. Like, well, you can play Tekken with this. I did play Tekken with this for a long time with a character like what was it, Reina, Victor, and Li Chaolan. I was using with this controller before I decided to buy the Hori Fighting Commander 2, and it wasn't bad. You know, being able to pop out the sticks so I don't have to use them. This controller is definitely expensive, but I didn't have to worry about hitting the inputs because I could just pop those off. But the issue came down to this: when I was blocking really hard, or if I was trying to double tap to dash in, it would lift up on that side, and that made it very unstable. And then eventually I would feel like it was going to pop off from me trying to dash in, or like if I'm blocking and I'm trying to go low, and then it wouldn't read the input because I don't know how they did it with the slot. You can still press this down here, so you can still use it, but you can't do corner inputs. It kind of just clicks in place, and it's just bound to up, down, left, right. And then somehow with this, it reads the diagonal inputs from it reading like forward and down at the same time, or back, down, left, down, up. You know, it reads diagonal inputs that way. Sorry. Other than that, this is possibly one of my favorites. This feels really good for fighting games for some strange reason. This is the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I just found a camouflage one on sale, so I bought this one. But the D-pad is actually really good and responsive compared to the Xbox controller, the Xbox Elite, which has the magnetic D-pad piece. For some reason, this is really good, and the inputs feel really smooth. It does miss some inputs every so often on the diagonals if you're doing Z inputs. But other than that, I would say as like an honorable mention with the Xbox controller and the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I haven't tried the Switch Pro 2 controller yet. I will soon, possibly in the next video. I will be experimenting with that. But this one has been really good. I actually started playing Tekken with this. Surprisingly, Tekken 7 and Tekken 8. I started off with this because this actually felt really good. It wasn't until I realized with Street Fighter that I needed the other two buttons. But I did use, if I wasn't playing Street Fighter, I was using this controller for Tekken. And for other 4-button like King of Fighters games where it's like you only need 4 buttons, or Virtual Fighter, or Blaze Blue or something. This was actually really good and helpful. So I would honestly say this one is a really good starter if you want to get into competitive play and you don't need the top buttons. If you don't need like right bumper and right trigger to be on the face, like the Hori FightPads, because FightPads have them right here so you can use them. If you don't need those buttons, this will do you great. I don't know what Nintendo did with this one, or whatever company makes them for Nintendo, but these are spot on. They're really good. We have covered a bunch of different controllers, from Razer to Hori to Nintendo to Microsoft. I don't know what direction the camera's in. Anyway, that's it for this review. If this helped out, you know, let me know what you're interested in or what you're looking forward to. Like I said, there is the Turtle Beach controller that I want to get my hands on, and the Nintendo Switch Pro controller too. Something just to see if they're good for fighting games. They might be, they might not. Who knows? But I want to get my hands on them, to test them, play with them a bit, see how they work in the long run. But other than that, that is it for us.